Okay, now we've had time to take a little break and catch our breath a little bit. The project is moving along very well. I think we're 5 days from completing. Enormous amount of work. Again, thank you so much for everybody that has pitched in to help. And thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for your prayers. And thank you for your volunteers. And the army of people who've done other stuff, really to help take a stand for what's possible, the greatness in kids, and helping them turn around. And I just want to read some of the letters so you can get a broader view of the other community that also showed up. We know about the 300, but they're incredible students and people from all over the country that showed up. And here's a few notes of encouragement that were sent last week. Mr. Holloway, I'm a Cohoes High School graduate. I saw what happened to your home and wanted to help as much as I could. I gathered a list of the names of the people that I recognize. Several of them are graduates but still live in the area. Many people just coming out willing to offer the assistance, to provide information, to help out. So I want to say thank you very much to that individual that sent that. Let's see. I had the opportunity to view the list of names, and one of them was this person. Sadly, it's sad to see these kids. I know many of them on the list, and I've seen them in the photos. I'm thankful that we live outside New York at this time, and we moved into a new school district. My daughter was bullied at school, and so we were forced to try a different school that's safer. One girl texted my daughter saying, "Oh my God, I'm grounded forever," yet she still has the electronic device. You can muster up all the time to continue to tweet and Facebook, and you're talking about it was the best night of your life. That does not sound like much of grounding to me. So I want to thank you from that letter that came in from outside of New York State. Here's another letter that came in. If you want any additional information, there's more social media procedures that you can use to get access to more of the conversation. Here are 3 ideas you ought to consider. It might be helpful to you. I hope you find the people that destroyed your belongings. So thank you very much for that one. Here's one that came in. Dear Mr. Holloway, I was not involved in the situation, but I'm trying to help you out. Hopefully to get some of the students to come forward for the bad decisions they made because they were wrong. Some of the kids were involved were listed to go to my school, Waterford High School. If you'd like to know some of their names, I'm more than happy and helpful in giving them to you. I'm 18, I don't do drugs, I don't drink alcohol. I'm very into school and I'm finishing my senior year. People do make mistakes, some learn, some don't. But hopefully they'll come to the right conclusion and speak up and take the consequences for their actions. So thank you very much for that letter of support. Let's see. Here's a couple more here that have come in. Here are the following names that I have. It's been rumored that there was another individual who was key in throwing the party. From what I hear, he was telling his people that his parents were selling the house and they had a bunch of people over since they were selling it. This was just hearsay, but hoping it helps in some way. I'm very sorry for what happened to your home. It brings such a blemish on all of society. I think your response is much needed and allows some sort of repercussion and responsibility to those involved. It seems many young people lack respect and consideration. I hope what you are doing will make a difference in their lives. With that being said, I showed your site, Help Me Save 300, to my girlfriend, and she was able to ID some of the kids in the pictures and Twitter screen grabs. I'd be happy to provide you with their names and possibly some information about these kids. So thank you very much. That's really, really helpful. See, these are really wonderful people that they didn't have to do this, but they've stepped up. This was really great. Thank you for your help. Dear Brian, I lived in Grafton and my son lived in Stephentown for a while in the 90s. He was a teenager for most of the time he lived there. He knew you and spoke highly of you. Now I know why. Thank you so much for the way you've responded to this party and to the crisis in our young people. You could have gone a completely different direction. Thank the Lord you did not. Anything I could do to be more helpful, I'd be happy to do that. I do know that 2 of the students are already on probation. I wish you the best of luck. Okay, and I'll just read one more, but I've got probably hundreds of these. Dear Mr. Holloway, I'm disgusted what happened to your property, and probably knowing some of the kids involved, I have spent this weekend thinking about ways these kids can begin to make things right. My first thoughts, someone or ones had to have hatched the idea for this event and organized it. Someone or ones bought the kegs. Someone broke into the house, all knew it was wrong and illegal to be on this property, all knew it was wrong and illegal to steal, all knew it was wrong and illegal to damage property. All knew that using drug and underage drinking is illegal. Probably no one knew that even though he or she did not do the breaking in, stealing, or damage to the property, all would legally be accountable as though they had. To teens, that concept may be foreign. Here are my suggestions, Mr. Holloway. For those that participated in the event, is for them to learn and write about how it's affected the individuals and their family and in their community and their town. They should also sit there and have to write the effects of this illegal, destructive behavior on Brian Holloway and his family. They should also look at different ways they can attempt to make it right with Brian and his family. And they should also learn what they've learned from this experience and how they can use this learning in a positive way. Maybe it's possible to take action where small groups, where they can get tours of jail and learn about jail life and the lasting consequences of serving jail terms. Maybe they should read the laws involving blame and punishment as it applies to mob or joint participation in illegal activities, even when the person believes he or she is not actually doing seriously wrong. Maybe they earn a certain amount of their money in savings to pay the Holloway family toward restitution and not taking the money from their parents. Maybe they should earn amount to pay back their own family for the legal expense that they may have incurred, and they certainly should extend a personal apology to Mr. Holloway's family. Thank you for your positive approach to punishment for this locally unheard of act. For you and for your desire to have these teenagers learn in positive ways about making wiser decisions in the future. A very concerned grandmother. And then I get some that are really serious and very disturbing, and I just need to be quite frank about this stuff, because as parents you do need to know if this stuff is going on. I certainly would. I have 3 daughters, and this stuff is extremely concerning to me. The man that came to our house to deliver a service told us his daughter was at the party and woke up with her pants around her ankles and her blouse was off and doesn't remember the thing. The party was in Steventown. I heard there was no food, only drugs and alcohol. See, that is a problem. And that's why all parents across this country need to have access to all the social media that goes on in your children's communications. Between 12 and 17 years old, 5,000 communications a week. How does that make sense if we aren't involved in knowing exactly what goes on, or to be able to have instant access to where our children are? Because something went down for this cover-up to happen of this massive scale. And again, if we don't step in for parents, okay, there's going to be a great cost. And we've buried enough of our classmates and enough of our children's classmates. And I don't want you, and you're like me, to be haunted by that one question. When you look over that casket and you see a classmate of your child, and you ask that question, what could I have done? What could I have said to save that child's life? Because we know when they're out of control, and we just need to take back that ground and step up and make those decisions. With that in mind, let me just wrap this up for those people who were involved, and you may not have done any of the damage and the breaking in and stuff, but you were here and you didn't know. But let's really walk through this. And I put down many different ways you can identify where you put yourself in bad situations. And this is for information for you. So if you don't have this information, which you really should, but if you don't, let me walk you through this. And this is for the students. Okay, if you have to lie to your parents about going on a sleepover, okay, there's something bad going down at that party. Number two, if you're driving in a car and you're underage and there's alcohol in that car and you're going to the party, there's a problem there. You don't need to be at that party. If there's massive hype going on in school about this party and there's no parents and no supervisors, that's a problem. That's dangerous, and laws are going to be broken. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Number four, if your parents don't know, I can tell you, you can likely get yourself in a situation. If it's something that you don't want to inform your parents about, good sign, you shouldn't probably be there. If you're involved in something huge and the teachers don't know, that's probably a signal too. You need to think twice about that. Take a look at the invitations. Are they attached to troubled characters or people you know in the school are running super fast down a dangerous road? You need to stay away from that. Does that make sense? When you're tweeting and communicating, when people are talking about this place is going to be epic, this experience is going to be epic, this party is going to be epic, I can tell you that when you hear that level of pump and excitement, you don't want to be near that, because that means danger and laws will be broken. You should have had a clear signal when you saw more than 30 cars at a party. There were hundreds of cars at the party. That's a problem. You need to turn around. You should have never even walked in. Does that make sense? That was a clear signal. When you have cars that are parked over a mile away, you're in danger. Don't hang out there. If you come and there's no food, just alcohol and beer and drugs, what are you thinking about? You've got a future that you're building and want to protect. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. That's the fastest way to shut your future. Come to a party where they're planning a party for 5,000. You don't want to be around any kind of people that are making those sort of decisions and those ideas make sense to them. You just don't want to do it. If you have a party or something that's going on that's not sponsored by the school or the parents, and it's a major buzz in 15 high schools, trust me, you don't want to be a part of that. And you don't want to be part of the communication flow. And you don't want to be part of the digital streaming, right? You see what happened to people who are part of the digital streaming that weren't even here. You don't want to be involved with that. If something's going to happen and it's not a public place, that's a problem. If something super huge is going on and it's free, you should ask questions. How could that be, right? If you don't have any public marketing materials or displays where other people, that would allow the event to be transparent instead of hidden behind back doors with the tweeting and texting, right? Okay, so if you don't see any public communication about this, don't put yourself in that position. You go to a party and there's people underage, massive amounts drinking. That's just totally wrong and dangerous. If you haven't discussed something this big with your parents, that's a problem. You need to. If you can't have a conversation with your parents, you shouldn't be going there. If the event has a high hush factor, you know what I mean? High hush, don't talk about it. Don't talk, this is private. If you have to creep around in darkness in your communication, or if you have to sit there and go and whisper campaigns you don't want to be, don't do it. You don't even need to go up there to see what's actually going on. You could tell. That should be a flag to let you know that's trouble, okay? How about this one? When you ask yourself, you can't believe you're doing this. Now, there's a part of the danger and the excitement of adolescence where you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this, and there's a thrill in that one. But when you navigate down these areas, it could cost you your life. This is not something cool, fun, or interesting. This is something that is extremely dangerous and people die from. So many futures have been changed forever as a result of this. Could you imagine if we lost lives? Could you imagine if the 5,000 party went on? We'd be burying people this week. And I'd be there holding crying mothers, saying, I did whatever I could to try to stop this. I can't do it all, right? Okay, Tammy feels the same way. We can't do it all. We can do what we can. Okay. If you get the bad feeling where you go, this isn't right, something's not right here, should have turned around and left. And even if you didn't have a car, you walk. You could just walk away. Okay, get yourself out of harm's way. Okay, if you're there witnessing behavior that's totally outrageous, and you think it's exciting and outrageous, but something should click in your head going, this is going in the wrong direction. When the party escalates to stupidity. Okay, you saw the fight that broke out, the guy that was knocked out, he was unconscious, he was non-responsive on the floor, you thought he was dead. Okay, that's a danger sign. That is way past what makes sense. Don't put yourself in those situations. So all those warning signs should have gone off early on, and had they gone off, you wouldn't be one of the 300 or 400. Okay, but if you want to get to that future, and you do have a big future, and it's exciting when you can see the world differently as you grow up and get greater opportunities by your hard work, your discipline, your focus, your goals, your commitment, and your desire. You don't want to let stuff like this pull you down. And you don't want to let your dreams die hard. And you don't want to play small. And you don't want to get in the blame game. Get back your A game. Get back on track. Raise your game, raise your vision. And start building that future. You can start at a young age. And maybe you didn't have the exact life that you may have wanted. Everyone comes from a different place. It doesn't matter. It's not where you are. It's where you can go. If you put your plan together, get focused, get back on track, and start making better decisions for your future that are serious and responsible and in integrity. Okay, we'll catch up. I've got to get back to work. I've got to make another run over to Home Depot, and we'll talk soon tomorrow.